welcome to Park Podcast presented by DGA. My name is Mitch Phillips. Joining me is Zach Harrison. And on today's episode, we're going to recap the Oregon Swing back-to-back weeks of disc golf. We had first-time winners. We had Gannon Bird. I mean, he's the best player in the world. It's not even a question. We'll get into that. Later, back-to-back A-tier winner and longtime DGA team member Trevor Lee Harbolt is joining us for an interview. It's going to be a good episode. Zach, how are you doing, dude? It's been a minute. What's going on?
Yeah, dude, doing well. Lot going on. Life is busy. I think I say that every episode, but
Yeah.
this time it's for real, for real. Planning a 10-day trip to California.
Ooh, where in Cali?
So we're flying into San Francisco and then we're going out to Yosemite.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, man.
Heck
So
yeah.
it'll be 7 days out in Yosemite, which is a lot. So a lot of food to prep and still kind of concerned as to like how much food can I fly with versus how much food am I going to buy in California? Cause I feel like it's going to be more expensive in California.
Oh, for sure.
So I don't know. It's a little tricky, but super excited. Never been to Yosemite before. Super pumped. Got going with some buddies and yeah, so that's big on my mind right now. Trying to prep that. We leave on the 19th, Juneteenth.
Heck yeah, dude. That's amazing. That's way cooler than anything I've been up to. I was sick for the last week. I literally lost my voice to the point where I could not speak. I woke up and had no voice. I was a vocalist and that was my job for years, was singing, and never lost my voice during that. And I don't know how, but it happened and it was scary. And we literally had to cancel an episode and change schedules. And it's been a wild couple weeks. So I actually got to work out today and I'm feeling better. So that's good, but weird, summer cold. But I mean,
I'm
wish
gonna
we were
blame
kids
Mortimer.
again. Yeah, blame my cat. That's what it is. Yeah, blame.
He's a long-haired heathen.
Okay. No, he literally sat next to you and was super kind the entire time at my birthday party. Yeah,
he's a great guy.
He's a good guy. Good guy, I tell you.
Glad to have you back, though, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm glad to be able to speak again. But dude, what are you sipping on, man? We're gonna get into right here into Portland Open. But what are you drinking tonight?
Great question. I've got this guy in my Champions glass.
Go
It
Braves.
is. I think last time I was drinking on some local Creature Comforts, and I'm doing it again.
Oh,
because they released
the bigger dreams.
Yeah,
Hazy
man. IPA. Right, hazy IPA. It doesn't say much of anything. I don't know what hops they use. It's just hazy, hoppy, sunny.
Yep.
And I agree. It's a sunny beer. It's a little fruity. It's got a little pineapple. There's definitely some like Citra or New Zealand style hop in there, but it's easy. It's crushable. Great for sunny days if you still want some hoppy.
Yeah, I really like that beer. It's a good compliment to Tropicalia for sure. And over at Contrast where I work in the brewery, we actually our new brewer used to work at Creature Comfort. So we were talking about that IPA not too long ago. But I'm drinking tonight it's from Frog Rock Brewery. This is a really cool can they got here. They have a spiritual experience. They've made the word spiritual. Pretty cool. This is called The Pursuit of Happiness. It's a blonde ale, and it doesn't have a ton of information, but it is subtle notes of straw, honeysuckle, slight apricot taste with some fruity esters. I don't know what esters are, but I like the beer.
It's like what they put in LaCroix, dude.
Esters. Esters. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll
sprinkle them in there.
Little sprinkles. Yeah.
It sounds like a southern beer. You said honeysuckle and straw.
We got honeysuckle, straw over here at the Frog Rock, but it's right next to a course here local to Metro Atlanta called Frog Rock. And I got this beer from the Disc Golf Brewers Cup we played a couple weeks ago. And so really good. Great beer.
Man.
I enjoy a nice
we've
blonde
never
ale.
done.
Yeah.
Give me a little one.
A little cheers, baby. Come on. Get it in
go.
There. Yeah, baby. Well, let's get into it. Definitely always let us know if there's any beers we need to try. Super excited I'm about to open a new location in the brewery. Life's about to get crazy. I'm excited. It's going to be awesome. But let's get into freaking Portland Open. Let's start there. First of all, Oregon Disc Golf. I want to go so bad. So freaking bad. Like, I just want to enjoy it and be there, and the trees and the vibes and everything is just top notch for the Portland area and Oregon Disc Golf.
Unpredictable weather, though. So you think it's going to be like fun and amazing, and then it's just, just peeing on you the whole time.
Yeah, if that's what
And
you're into, but,
the wind the wind can get a little gnarly, although
yeah.
apparently it held up decently, wasn't too
Mhm.
bad.
Yeah, there was definitely
Yeah,
some
dude, it
weather
was
supposed to come
gorgeous.
in, and I feel like it didn't, and then we'll talk about this in a bit. But Beaver State Fling was some of the best weather I feel like we've had all season long,
Mhm.
with sunny. But talking Portland, we were at Glendevere, golf courses, 2 courses, the West and the East. The West course, one of the longest on tour.
Yep.
The East, a little bit different, a little bit more enjoyable, I think from a viewer perspective as well. But, I mean, it's gorgeous. All these courses are so beautiful, up in this area. But, Gannon Burr, my freaking goodness. Gannon Burr is the best player in the world. It's not a question. I don't feel like anymore. He wins by 8,
Yeah.
um, and just overtook everyone. He
Here's
led
a
from start to finish.
here's a stat for us.
Okay.
Last time someone had a 10-stroke lead after the 3rd round of a tournament.
Mhm.
Any wild guesses?
Uh, I'd probably say Paul Macbeth has gotta be
I'll give you a hint.
Masters
It
Cup.
was 1999,
What?
and it was at USDGC.
This is a deep stat.
Ken Climo
Really? That was heading into the final round with a 10-stroke lead?
heading into the final round, 10-stroke lead. Last time it has happened on
Was
tour.
and Gannon Burr wasn't even thought of. He wasn't even in the womb.
No, not even close, dude.
Not even close. That's wild.
Yeah. So to
Yeah.
say that he is the best in the world, he's
Oh, yeah.
stacking up among the greatest of
Mhm.
all time.
Yeah, and with this takes down his second DGBT plus event of the year. So mega points, being able to rack those up. And it was just consistent all the way through. This course felt like it was designed for him. He throws the flex line so well. He's been mashing those DD3s, that red one especially. Anytime that's
Yeah.
in his hand, like it's going over 500 feet.
He loves that
He's
thing.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's confidence all the way across his game, and it's the most complete game on tour. It's not even a question. And he continues that by winning back to back in Beaver State Fling. But starting with Portland here, I mean, led from start to finish. He I don't even know. Like, there's so much we could talk about here. His putting, everything was just good. It wasn't like there was one thing that was like top notch. But also, if there was ever a moment where like his putter felt a little bit off, all of a sudden the next 3 holes he would park the heck out of them. It didn't matter. Like, and I feel like there was a lot of criticism on his putt in the last couple tournaments of like he's putting too hard, he's having chain outs. I feel like in these last 2 weeks, he's adjusted. He's really started to adapt, and a part of his game that brought a lot of frustration and immaturity, and people talking a lot of crap online about just change your putt and do it. And I feel like he
Mhm.
did it, and he made the adjustment. And yeah, I mean, my goodness, he averages friggin' 1059 for the win here in Portland.
Yeah. I mean, he shot 10 down, 10 down, 9 down, and then cruised into the finish line with 4 under.
Hmm.
Didn't even really have to try very hard. Obviously, Cole was pushing,
Yeah.
and Gannon actually had a really slow start.
Yeah.
He was 1 over through 4 holes,
Hmm. Yeah,
right?
it was like,
Didn't
okay, we're having maybe a little bit of a battle, maybe it's going on, but the real battle was a battle for second, third,
Yeah.
and fourth. I mean, seeing Cole and Ricky all the way until hole 18,
Yeah.
it was incredible. I mean, Cole Dolan truly, I mean, hometown love. It was so cool to see him get announced the final round and him being able to hold up the heart hands, and you could just see what it meant to him and being able to be on lead card final day in his home state, and the emotion was there. And man, his putter all weekend long was on fire.
Oh, yeah.
70 footer, circle twos. He was hitting metal every single time. And his putting style was talked about on Jomez a good amount, and how
Hmm.
it has touch, but a purpose, and it's different. It feels like an old school Climo, Barry Schultz-esque putt where it's like, it's completely opposite to Gannon's putt, but it has like intention. He's not going to go long if he misses.
Yeah.
And I mean, he just felt like he had some swagger on the course. Like, he legitimately makes his first lead card of the year. He's got confidence like across the board. And this just felt like if Gannon wasn't there, he's winning this tournament. It's yeah.
Yeah, and round 3 alone, I feel like really, really ramped him up. He
Hmm.
had a bogey-free round. He
Yep.
was 6 down through 7 holes, and then needed 2 strokes on the last hole to get into the lead card, and gets
Hmm.
an eagle on the 1,000-foot par 5 on to finish in front of his home crowd with a big 40-foot, 45-foot putt.
Mhm.
Like, how amazing. And every time he was hitting one of those putts, it was like flexing on the crowd, like
Yep.
making sure everyone knew that he was loving
Yeah.
them. And oh, it was so cool. The
Mhm.
energy out there was amazing.
Yeah, I feel like the energy just in certain cities of disc golf, we look at something like a Charlotte, Portland, like these cities just have they're so deep for disc golf and they care so much. It's the same way when we're in Europe in a couple weeks. Like it just has this the emotion and like the passion, especially for
Mhm.
their hometown players, is just more and more. And it's cool to see that grow because I feel like in the past it wasn't as much of a deal. It was like, cool, we're at a local tournament, it's from here. But now it's like this dude's from here. We watched him grow up. We watched him play and we care. And seeing a player like that be able to play at the top in that moment is so awesome. But man, what an incredible place to be. I love that this is a DGPT Plus event. We had 2 courses and being able to have them similar, but enough contrast between the two. Really enjoyed them a lot. Eagle McMahon finds himself in the top 10. He's starting to find his game, I think, and the discs are starting to fly well. Obviously, a lot of emotion coming into this with him winning this event last year, I believe.
Mhm.
And really cool to see him learning his discs and finding confidence, picking up some eagles. But there were some bigger bogeys he found here and there. But someone that surprised me on this course to be at the top was Niklas Antala, finding himself in tied for 7th. A course that like he's not the furthest thrower, but he shapes lines incredibly well. So seeing him play these courses and a lot of the Europeans, I feel like we saw, I mean, Heinen right there in top 10 as well. Kind of surprising to see those guys on this style course.
Yeah.
Was great to see, but we'll talk about it in Beaver State Fling as well. Ricky Wysocki still has it, man. Like it's
Without a doubt.
crazy, like to watch him play. We'll jump into some stats about him in the past 4 years and just how consistent he's been as we jump over to Beaver State Fling in a bit. But let's jump over to the FPO side where Paige Pierce wins the Portland Open. Unexpected. I did not have Paige Pierce even coming close to winning a tournament this year, honestly. I really didn't. And she wins by 2. Wins by 2
Yep.
heading into there and just was in control for a
Yeah.
long time. But there were some names that popped out throughout this, and a player I want to talk about a little bit here is Stephanie Dunica.
Sophia Dunica.
Sophia Dunica, from Canada, her second disc golf pro tour event ever.
Yeah, didn't start playing until
Yeah,
COVID, really.
which is crazy.
But she's an athlete. And,
Oh yeah.
it's like it's one of those situations where it's like a transition athlete,
Mhm.
kinda like a lot of the other ladies who are just kinda picking it up and
Right.
tearing things up. But she was on crew.
Mhm.
So she's got all the right muscles
Yeah.
to
I mean,
throw these big backhand shots.
and she has some serious distance. She's a complete athlete. They were talking about that she one time ran a 15K before a tournament round, just like quick 15K. She actually biked to the course on a lot of these days to just like, yeah, why not get some
Honestly, that's a decent
workout
warm up.
going.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
good
That's
warm
kinda
up,
cool.
right? But man, a player that was unexpected. And I love that we still can have that happen in our sport. When you're on this side of town, she's not even full touring. She shoots the course record -10 in round 2 with just an insane performance. And it was so fun to watch her and the confidence that she had with the backhand. And it was cool hearing her talk about it too. She was like, I'm doing this. Like it was like it was a surprise, but also just like, oh, this is cool. Like it was
Yeah,
awesome.
going with it. Yeah,
Mhm.
she was telling, Brian Earhart, she was like, "Yeah, I think even would be a good round for me out here."
Yeah.
And she shoots the 10 down. But
Mhm.
what's crazy is, like, she's got an easy 400 plus
Yeah. She's a
without
smasher.
really having to try very hard.
Mhm.
So, it makes sense that this is a course that like, more open courses are something that she could take advantage on.
Yeah. But her putting too. I mean, she was 13 for 15 in that hot round of -10, and it feels like she's a player that like you could hear the commentators like begging, like, "Please jump on tour. Please start to play, like,
Mhm.
bring more competition
Yeah.
into it." But she's also a PhD student at Harvard. So, I mean, you do you. Like, if disc golf's not, what you need to do for right now, maybe
Yeah.
Harvard
Go
PhD is a
be
good thing.
go be a chemical engineer and probably make way more money than you would make in disc golf.
Yeah, truly. But let's go back to Paige Pierce here for a bit. I mean, she didn't even think she was going to be playing disc golf, much less be able to win a tournament. And the emotion and seeing her play consistently over this was just so cool. I mean, full tears in the interview. And I mean, some of the quotes she had here. I mean, she said there was years worth of people to thank. Missy and Tom were there when the ankle broke. I mean, Tom made a tourniquet out of an OB flag. Like, I mean, it was really cool. And she was just saying that it's so much bigger than this tournament. This tournament doesn't even matter. She was like, yeah, it's great. It's cool. But like the fact that I actually have the confidence to play, and I never thought I was going to be able to play the game again. So it was cool to see. And we've said it already on this podcast, but we're starting to see narratives, and because of the Disc Golf Pro Tour, because of DGN, we're able to see narratives of players over years, and watch the hard fall, watch the slumps, watch these things, and seeing someone that had a serious injury and then comes back and now wins a tournament is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And I feel like it's the same thing when Paul is at the top, disc golf's better for it. When Paige Pierce is at the top and she's in the conversation, disc golf's better for it.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome to see her like quickly get her distance and her accuracy back too. You know, like planting on that front leg. I mean, that's the leg she broke. So feeling comfortable like planting and ripping and just trusting that that her momentum will be held up by what you hadn't stepped on for months. Is absolutely wild. But I also really like she's kind of changed the types of plastic she's throwing, in the sense that she's throwing more understable frisbees now. Where before she was throwing like a Zeus, which is like a destroyer. And now she came out with her 11-speed disc, and it is more of like throw it flat, it's going to turn, it's going to fade, and she's leaning on those a little bit more, so she doesn't have to just freaking snap so hard, and the discs are actually going farther than they used to. So it's kind of fun how like such a negative thing, getting injured like that, is now leading to a more positive impact on your overall game, because now you're just making the right changes at the right time. So I love that she's putting it all together. I would love to see it again. She didn't play Beaver State Fling, and she said she was actually happy that she didn't sign up for it. She was like, no, I get to live on this number one for a minute and like fully digest the fact that I am back and I am playing at a level that's super competitive. So I thought it was cool, man. Gotta love it for Paige. And she's just such an honest and humble person at the end of the day too. Like if you don't respect her, then there's probably something wrong with you.
Yeah. And the consistency of her game for so long, if you're just getting into watching disc golf, I mean, this stat blew my mind. It's been 382 days since her last win when she won Portland, which was the OTB Open. Before that, she had not gone a full year without winning since 2011.
Gosh, man.
That is 13 years.
There's a streak of her. There's a streak of her winning majors too. Like she hadn't not won a major in several years.
Yeah. And it's absolutely absurd. So I mean, she had the stroke lead consistently, and just kind of ran with it. She ended up taking a double bogey on hole 18, and you could just see like the relief. She had already been like, "I'm gonna win." I just like it wasn't like lost all focus. Was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is happening," and laying up and whatever. But Holland Hanley makes a push, which I feel like we've said that a lot. Holland Hanley has gotten towards the end of a tournament, made a push, but then final round just doesn't have it. This wasn't the case. She shoots a -11 final round, which I believe was the hot round. Yeah, hot round by 4 strokes, and still loses by 2. So Paige was just so far ahead heading into this, and Holland was further back. She started 6 strokes back heading into the final round. But that's been the story of Holland Hanley for the season, is it's just been close, and then when it comes down to it, it doesn't all come together on the final day. I feel like Kat Mertz is in that similar conversation where she's had a couple great rounds, but then when we get towards the end of the tournament, the longevity, the consistency just kind of falls away. Owen Scoggins in this tournament specifically, putting was just a question mark. It was very weird to watch. I mean, final round, she goes 64% C1X.
Yeah, she missed 4 C1 putts that she missed. 4 out of 11 she missed. Kind of hard to see it because she's just so consistent, you know. Talk about that type of game where you can get in and you do it and it's the same every time, and you know, like you can rely on your game, because she doesn't play a game like most ladies, you know.
Not at all.
But you're right. Her strokes gained putting in that final round, negative 3.5.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
we just don't
so
see
rare.
that from her. We just don't. So it was an odd day for her, but
Mhm,
I I was impressed with all the ladies. Honestly,
mhm.
watching these last few tournaments on the FPO side have been
Agreed.
some of the most exciting ladies golf that I've seen ever. Talking highlight putts, amazing drives, throw-ins. Like,
Mhm.
it's been good. The top of the field is getting even better.
Yep.
What I'm really excited for is now for all the Europeans to come
Mhm.
and get involved, and now we have the whole mix back together.
Yep.
That's what I'm ready for. But so much
Yeah.
fun to watch, and I love that because I think so many people just kinda doo-doo on the FPO. They're like, "It's not fun, it's not exciting." They're not doing things like men do, and I'm like, "I don't know what you guys are
No,
looking
I
at, but what
disagree.
I'm watching
Mhm.
is absolutely exciting and riveting, and watching these ladies go out and shred these courses, maybe you just don't know how hard the courses are, but
Right.
it's a blast watching them."
Completely. Yeah, I think that's what you went back to, is having some excitement and throw-ins. I want to talk about this real quick before we jump to BSF. Dude, the throw-in from Paige, she misses the Mando
Yeah.
on hole 12 and then goes, all right, I'm gonna play a provisional because they weren't sure if she missed it and she was like on the edge. And she misses it, then throws in from the drop zone. It was freaking crazy.
Everyone
Ended
went
up
crazy.
Right. Ended up not needing it, throwing a provisional, and avoided the two-stroke swing for par. But she took her actual shot. But it was wild. It was exciting. It was fun. And there's been moments like that. There's been huge putts. Her circle two putting was huge, and putting across the board. I feel like in past years that's been something the FPO field has struggled with, and it's
Yeah.
been hard to watch at times where it's like, why are we missing 6-footers? Um, but now the putting has just been better and better and better. And yeah, it's pretty crazy to see more than just Owen Scoggins putting well. In this tournament, the opposite. So, but yeah.
The, sorry, that's Beaver State. I'm gonna pause, hold.
Okay, well, let's jump to Beaver State. Let's get on with it.
Yep.
Beaver State Fling, man, cool to have 2 weeks back to back in disc golf and at one of the most iconic disc golf courses at Milo. Man, I've watched so much footage of this course over the years. Every time we come here, this was not on the tour. It was on the tour. It was a tier. It was a silver series, and now it's back on the tour. And man, did I miss it! And we still had some of the signature holes that were some shorter holes in the back nine, that were really cool to watch. I like watching top players throw 200-foot holes, like seeing
Yeah.
what they do. I mean, 197-foot hole 13, and you had players taking bogeys on it. Like, it was a weird time. You had some aces on it. Like, it provides some really cool random things, and it helps, I think, from a viewer perspective, a speed perspective. Like, it's fun to watch. Yeah, we have a 1,200-foot par five, but then we jump to 197-foot hole in the woods, and it just felt like this is Oregon disc golf. Is
Yeah.
this course? They got to show the highlight, and apparently there's a plaque in the ground now from where Philo threw the albatross shot. Like, this course has so much history.
That's cool.
Um, but yeah, really cool. And this course on the MPO side brought one of the most exciting final rounds, um, in from what I can remember in the past couple years. We headed into the final day with like 10 plus people within 2 strokes. It was nuts. Anyone could win. Any
Yeah.
card, first, second, third, even fourth card was in the mix. And it was wild.
MPO was nuts to see how tight everyone was. I mean, it's a horse race, and they're all just neck and neck
Hmm.
all the way to the finish. Really, though, it's the clean rounds that
Hmm.
ended up taking it,
Yep.
right? Gannon Burr shoots bogey free on the tournament.
Yep.
Like, one
And
mistake. One mistake.
yeah, it's pretty nuts to see the bogey free stat, but this isn't the last. Sorry, this isn't the first time that bogey free has happened at this course. There's some pretty crazy stats Statmando was putting out about bogey free rounds, at this place specifically. And so Gannonberg goes bogey free. This is from Statmando here in all 3 rounds en route to his Beaver State Fling victory. It's only the 3rd time that a winner has gone bogey free at an MPO Major Elite Silver in the last 3 seasons. And in the last 3 seasons, all 3 of these were at Beaver State Fling. Gannon Burr this year, 2023, Eagle McMahon goes bogey free. In 2022, Garrett Gurthey goes bogey free to win. So something about this course provides bogey free rounds winners. And why is that? I mean, what are your thoughts? Is the rough just not as rough? Are the lines like bigger? It's not as wooded of a course. I don't know. I know I couldn't play Milo without having multiple bogeys.
Dude, I think the rough itself is like, that's enough for me, where if you don't put it on the right line and you get into some of those big trees,
Mhm.
like, good luck going forward. You're throwing rollers,
Right.
you're trying to pitch out, you're just trying to take your medicine at that point. I don't know. I don't know what it is about the course itself.
Yeah.
I guess there's not a crazy amount of opportunity for,
There's not as
like,
much out of bounds either.
yeah, not
Mhm.
quite as much OB. Although we're gonna talk about OB
Yeah.
because there's plenty of it.
Mhm.
If you're not, if you're pushing, I'd say if
Yep.
you're really pushing and you're like stretching the envelope a little
Mhm.
bit, like, it might tear.
Yeah.
Everything might fall to the ground. But no, it's just amazing to see. Also, I don't think I realized that Gannon was 6 strokes behind the leader after the first round.
Mhm. Yeah, his first round was not great.
Yeah, he shot
And
6 under.
and he heads into the final round just one back. But someone who has been in the conversation, and man, I want him to beat Gannon Burr. Luke Humphreys again finds
Man.
himself in a DGPT Plus event down the stretch in the final round, battling with Gannon Burr. Man, it's crazy that he pops up at these events. Waco specifically, that one makes sense for, that one always produces kind of a weird top 10.
Yeah.
But dude, Luke Humphreys is such a clean, controlled player, and it's unexpected every time we see it. I feel like there's nothing insane about his game. He doesn't throw the furthest. He doesn't have the most ridiculous angle control, but I mean, honestly, he feels like a local pro, like that you just like play with often. And then, like, yeah, by the way, he can pop off and just be at the top. But because I think it's because he does so many other things than just play that like we
Yeah.
forget that he's still a top player.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, just his body control alone, I
Mhm.
think is worth the value that, just watching him, that you can kind of get a sense that, like, you don't have to muscle up on your frisbees,
Yep.
right? His reach back is smooth, but when it comes out, it looks like he's going half speed sometimes,
Mhm.
and the disc just zooms out of his hand. Good angles. He
Yep.
gets a lot of spin on the disc. I'll be honest, one of the things, if I were to say he has a highlight, it's his little hop putt,
Hot putt.
his little circle too. It's not a jump putt.
No.
It's just like a little hop,
Yep.
and he is money when that thing is turned
Mhm.
on. But
The
it
release,
wasn't.
there's no flutter. It is the cleanest, just direct putt.
Yeah, but I mean, that wasn't what kept him in it. It was his C1 percentage,
Mhm.
96% on the tournament. They
Wow.
kind of kept him in. And, like, consistency tee to green. I mean, he was gaining strokes tee to green on most
Yeah.
people. Only 75% fairway hits, which,
Mhm.
not far off of, like, the top 10 either right there. But,
Right.
like you said, it's not flashy, but
Mm-mm.
he's so consistent, especially round 2 when he shot 10 under.
Yep.
I mean, that put him in first place
Yep.
going into the final round.
No, he definitely, I think it's fun to watch a player like him play because like you said, it's not like he's doing anything flashy, and it's enjoyable to watch and it feels replicable.
Yeah.
He's not throwing crazy lines, but it is tough to watch. I mean, hole 17, it's the same thing, same story that it was on hole 18 at Waco. It's just all of a sudden a bad hole happens at the worst time. Man, goes great shot off the tee, tries to go aggressive, hits the top ceiling on 17, falls in the road, then goes OB again, and then again, ends up taking a 9. That hole alone cost him thousands, thousands of dollars.
$5,000.
Oh my god.
$5,000. And that's from second place.
Yeah,
If it was from first place, add, I think, another 4,000 on top of that.
disgusting. Yeah, it's just painful, and it sucks because I don't feel like there's many tournaments where we're gonna find him at the top. So and when it does happen, it's exciting to watch, but it's sad to watch it fall. But someone at the top, we've already talked about it again. Gannon takes the Portland sweep with this very, very slow start. Like he was 4 just straight pars, but then all of a sudden pops off and gets 8 through 11 and then gets 13 through 15 and just he's the best player in the world. It's crazy to watch him never be out of it ever.
Yeah, even I mean on hole 18, he was still scrambling to make sure that Ezra Robinson didn't catch him.
Yep.
Right? And he was scrambling for that bogey-free tournament.
Yeah.
He was in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Perkins, I think, was who was on the ground this weekend.
Yeah.
He was like, he needs to just take his medicine. He needs to just throw it out and get his bogey and move on to hole 18.
Playoff and whatever.
Rows it through the trees.
Mm-hmm.
Gives himself a freaking look.
Yep.
Perkins is like, yeah, obviously I'm not out there.
Yep. Is what it
He's
is.
better than me. We know it.
Right.
Can I take it back just 1 second, though? Just specifically hole 18. I was looking at some course stats. Hole 18 on round 3 alone, 89 OB strokes.
What?
89 OB strokes on that
disgusting.
one hole in one round. So Luke is not alone.
Absurd.
Luke is not alone. I feel bad for everybody else, but it's also wild because it was the most parked hole. Most parked, 19% parked.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just it was a really odd hole for me.
Yeah, it really was. And I think yeah, and it was an odd hole to go down to almost winning with going to a playoff, was Ezra Robinson. So cool to see him at the top. He's been in the top conversation and on the final day pushing so many times. So many times. So just almost pushing to a playoff, but when it mattered, I feel like his mental game blocks him and it just gets unfortunate.
I mean, he had to run a pretty big putt at the very end there. You can't expect to hit that every time.
No,
it was like a 60-footer.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm like he ran it, he put it chain high. You know, he whiffed, but he gave him a chance.
Yeah.
We'll close it on this maybe. Gannon, that hole where he was in the bushes and played a crazy upshot. It took him 60 seconds to make that shot.
Yeah, they were talking about time and everything, and it was a weird thing to think. It's like when it matters most, is time really what we would be talking about?
I don't think so. And like he could have, there's that proposed thing where he can take a break or take like a timeout or whatever it is. But
he'd already taken it, is what I've heard.
Oh, okay. But like, okay, imagine Ezra is like a really hard-nosed player and is not friends with Gannon. Like, we know they're buddies.
Right.
Could he call it and get second? And then
I don't know. I don't want to see that happen.
I don't either, but these are the rules.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but yeah, overall, I think Gannon's king of Portland. He's the king of Oregon. He's the best player in the world. That's what it comes down to.
The Beaver King.
The Beaver King. We'll give him the title of the Beaver King.
Can we just give him like how they make coon hats? Can we just give him a beaver hat?
Yeah, for sure. No doubt.
Big old beaver tail hanging off of it.
Beaver hat for sure.
No, man.
All right, let's jump over to FPO here. We've talked about it already, but I feel like the highlight of this tournament was putting. Putting won this tournament, hands down. Wins most tournaments, but this one specifically, on hole 18, Holland Hanley hits the wood circling around this basket, rolls 45 plus feet away, and I was not expecting a full run.
No.
Best putt of the FPO history that I could think of.
Heart of the chains, man.
Insane. Also, rewind a little bit. Missy Gannon almost threw in from blind around the corner. That was a crazy shot as well. But
I did see that.
Dude, that was a sick angle too to be able to see coming across. But man, Holland Hanley, we've talked about it already. When it comes down to it, it feels like the final round just falls apart, or there's something small that like doesn't actually happen. She finally wins her first Disc Golf Pro Tour event. And I want to stop there. Do you think this is a bigger win than the A tier, whatever considered throw pink win that she already has?
Nope.
I completely agree. Like, I completely agree, and we talked about it last year, uh, and when she won it, and it's like everyone's like, "Oh, she got to win a Pro Tour event. She's never won a Pro Tour event." It's like, dude, she won
Facts.
a major. Like, let's just call it
Yes,
what it is.
it is a major.
It really is, and
And
I
she beat
hate that.
arguably the best woman
Yes.
golfer in the world to do
Mhm,
that. So for those 2 reasons, I say it's not as big as her win
mhm.
at Throw Pink.
I agree
That said, this was in pretty epic fashion also,
completely.
right? Both of them went to the tiebreaker,
Mhm.
right? And so she's 2 for 2 in
Yep.
overtime,
Yes,
which is
she is.
pretty sick, against some of, like, the 2 highest rated women in the world.
Right.
So she's not just winning against, like, her buddy, Ella, like,
Yep.
okay, that would make maybe more sense, but against
Mhm.
Kristen and Own in fashion like that,
Yeah.
dude, we
Nothing's
gotta
ever
give it to
close.
her.
We gotta
Gotta
give
give
it
it
to
to her.
her. But I'm so stoked to see her take it down in the way she did it with a playoff. And honestly, Owen lost it. Yes, Holland pushed it, and honestly, it's a little bit of both here. Holland bogeys hole 14 and then birdies out 15 through 18 to push for this. But Owen fell apart on hole 17,
Yeah,
completely threw it into the ground. um, I was so confused to
yeah,
watch that. It just felt like something that you never see all of a sudden happen. Yes, we're human, but somehow she even stays in bounds. And yeah, I yeah, it was weird. It was very weird.
it's really 2 holes for Own in that
Yep.
final round. It was hole 4 where she took a triple bogey,
Right.
threw it out of bounds twice,
Mhm.
and then hole 17, threw it out of bounds,
Yep.
takes a single bogey, and really opens the door at that point for Holland. But all that being said, even with that, Own still was gas pedal on hole
Mhm.
18, right?
She was. Oh, she
She
was
parked
2
it
feet away.
to tap in, and
Mhm.
so Holland knew, "I have to run this to
Yeah.
give myself a chance," and I think it's the momentum swing from you're down 1, you've
Mhm.
got a 45, 50 footer, she just bangs it and goes crazy, the
Yep.
crowd's going nuts, and now she gets to carry the momentum into the next hole, and it was just one and done.
Mhm.
Once she gets that birdie, I
Yep.
mean,
There's something about momentum, even though there is like, a 7 to 10 minute window, whatever it is, depending on where they're going for the playoff. I mean, you look back to James Conrad throwing out on hole 18 to push to a
yes,
playoff. There's no
yes,
way Paul Macbeth is winning that world championships with that momentum swing. There's no way.
yeah,
Like it's just the way that sports work in those moments, and it goes, oh yeah, okay. All of a sudden, this is not mine to win. Like the
yeah.
momentum shift was there, and it started when Holland literally just birdied out, and I love um, when her post interview, it's so cool. She said after hole 15, she thought she was completely out of it, and then she birdied 4 straight. She walked up to the putt on hole 18, and this is her quote: "I was telling myself, you're so clutch. You're so effing clutch. You can do this. Your clutch is F. My practice." And she was just telling herself that, like, she was like, "I am so clutch," and she was telling herself she put her practice basket on top of a picnic table this week and was
Yep,
just banging 50 footers. She
yep.
was practicing for that moment. Um,
Gosh.
and it pays off. It pays off.
I mean, what does it say about that? Like, was she just practicing for hole 18? Was she
There
expecting
was a
hole
lot of
18?
lifted baskets there, but, like, you could think, I mean, was she thinking, "Hey, if it comes down to hole 18, I know I can run this thing." But I think it's just a lot of more and more and more, we're seeing elevated baskets become a thing. But this course, I think they do a good job of it, putting it on top of tree stumps, and it's like aesthetically pleasing compared
Right.
to just like, hey, here's a giant sponsor banner and a thing that you're
Box.
hit and roll 70
Yeah,
feet away.
yeah.
I don't know. It has a different feeling on this course, but I mean, if you're on the tour, you got to practice that putt, and damn,
Oh, yeah.
she freaking practiced it perfectly because it it did it to win it. So congratulations to Holland taking down her first Pro Tour event. But like we said, I don't think it's bigger than Throw Pink. Let's talk about this though. We have Ella Hansen win in the last couple weeks. We have Holland Hanley. They're really good friends. Seeing them kind of get the monkey off their back. Do you think that there's going to be this new battle these players. Like, I mean, Missy's always in the conversation, of course, but with Holland and now Ella winning as well, I mean, we're looking at Kristen having an injury with the, I mean, broken rib, or I forget what it is.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, we're going to see some new battles and some new storylines come from the FPO field. Do you think we're going to see Holland win again this season?
This might be a hot take. Holland's my pick for Worlds.
Ooh, jumping it.
She's got, if she can dial in the range, right? Like her spread gets so far sometimes that it's like unpredictable.
Yeah.
If she can dial that in, she's one of the farthest throwers on tour.
Yeah.
She throws
Forehand
from
and backhand.
both sides of the disc.
Mhm.
Her putting has only gotten better as the
Yeah.
season has gone on.
Her circle two putting was nuts.
Dude, and I feel like her confidence is higher than it's ever been.
Mhm.
If
Agreed.
she can get her mental game right,
Yeah.
when she has a bad putt or has a bad throw, she has like a little bit, you can see the wheels churning and kind of dragging her down. If she can get that right, I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that she wins another event this year.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think you're
There's some
definitely
courses that shape up to her too,
right.
right? The courses help, right? You need a little bit of distance.
Yeah.
That's going to take out some of the players a lot of the
Right.
time, at least.
Yeah.
But with her and with Ella,
Mhm.
sky is the freaking limit.
Yep.
They're only going to make themselves better. Holland is
Yeah.
already kind of like a form guru where she can look at form and she knows what's supposed to happen to make the
Right.
disc fly right.
For sure.
So I only think this is like the beginning of the exponent curve here for her.
Agreed. I totally agreed. Rebecca Cox also having a great tournament. Good to see her at the top. She shoots, I believe, a hot round, or ties with Natalie Ryan of -8 first round, and then just kind of stayed in the conversation. Fell off a little bit in the second round, but then makes a push and finishes in the top 5. Which I feel like she's a player that, again, someone who has a lot of great potential, but just gets a little bit close. Natalie Ryan in the conversation the entire time from start to finish, is only one back going into the final round, ends up taking solo third there, 3 back, and really great tournament for her as well. A course that fits her game quite well, but I think what stopped it was those circle 2 putting. She found herself in circle 2 a lot, but when it came down to putting, let's see for the stats for it, I believe her circle
2
2
out of 19.
Yeah, 2 out of 19.
Yeah.
And when you're finding yourself in circle 2 70% of the time, that's what counted. And you look at someone like Own, 44% circle 2 putting. And even Holland, I mean, not the greatest either, but her circle 1 percentage was so much higher. So I think it comes down to putting no matter what, but really great to see Natalie in the conversation as well. And someone who I'm surprised, as we kind of wrap up here, surprised that Valerie Mendojano is not on league cards more this season. She's someone that her game consistently is so close. And I think we're going to see her win another tournament this year. It just comes down to what course is going to fit it the best.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what's going on with her. I mean, she had some big numbers, a few double bogeys, or 1 double bogey in round 2, and just a couple blemishes in round 3. It just wasn't the hot round that she probably needed to stay at the top. But I mean, when you watch her play, like, she's got all the puzzle pieces. It just has to get put together. And do it 3 days in a row, which always easier said than done.
And we talked about putting a lot here, especially Portland, where putting was Own's worst stat. She turned it around. She put the work in and turned around a 97% C1X putting, which led the tournament, a 44% C2 putting, which led the tournament, and had the longest average putt and had the most distance total putting. So Owen put the work in after hours and turned it around. Just literally 4 or 5 days around.
I just want her putt, man.
It's crazy.
I just want her putt. It's like it's a wobbly laser beam.
So cool. But
I just wish I had
congratulations.
it.
Oh, me too. We all do. Congratulations to Holland taking down her first one. And being able to make that happen. And it's pretty crazy too. We think about how what it takes to win in MPO at 1050 plus. You're shooting way over your rating. In this one, she only shot 7 points above her rating to win this tournament.
Wow. Wow.
So the 984 is what's doing it, like in that high 980s, which is pretty crazy because you have very few players that are in that range. Where in the MPO side, I really do feel like you have a lot of players that are in it because the pack is so much closer. So again, having the Europeans not be here for a little bit, at least a majority of them, having some other players in the conversation, shooting these hot rounds, gaining confidence, learning what it looks like to win. I think FPO is just going to keep getting better and better this season.
Absolutely. And as
Well,
we get
when
into some of the best courses.
for sure, for sure. When we return, a man who's been playing disc golf longer than we've been alive, Mr. Trevor Lee Harbolt. He's laughing in the backstage here, where he's going to join us. It's going to be a great interview. Y'all stick around. Park Podcast. We'll be right back. The releases just keep coming over at discgolf.com and from DGA. The first flight surf and sonar are so soon around the corner. We have words that are going to be coming the week of July 4th, where Des Moines Challenge presented by DGA is going to be. So if you're in person there, we're going to have them. And man, the plastic looks so good. Going to continue the D-line swirl. I was all about the surf for a while, putting them, and I felt great with them. But man, through some conversations and, our producer Gage just honestly just made me do it. I'm putting the sonar now, enjoying the bead, loving them so much. But yeah, head over to discgolf.com and be on the lookout for those coming soon. Joining us now is Trevor Lee Harbolt of Team DGA. Welcome to the show, dude. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm out here in Emporia just trying to maintain these courses and this win,
Yeah, you're there for Masters Worlds. This is your first year playing in Masters and also first year ever playing Masters Worlds. How's it feeling? How's the Masters vibes going this season? You're doing well. You have back-to-back A-tier wins, but heading into the Masters Worlds, what are you feeling?
Confident.
Okay.
My putt's a little shaky here lately. I've been playing golf so long, so like when I make little mistakes, I feel like I put them too much on myself. You know what I mean? Like I'm mentally frustrated myself for some reason. I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like Goku. Like I got to make myself mad to do something like huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel great. Like I think I took my ego and set it aside to play Masters because I know I can compete with these kids and stuff, but I can't do it like every single day now like I used to. But no, I feel great. Like it's been fun, the Masters vibe. First of all, everybody in my age, they all like the same stuff. We all have that, like I don't have to worry about some of these new kids just not knowing the rules, or even like, to be honest, man, like I hate to put it on them right now, but some of these young kids coming up in the game have no damn etiquette, bro. Like they need to learn like when I was young, bro, like we had the old dudes like teach us etiquette as we went, and like we had to learn
For
the hard
sure.
way by getting bitched out by these old men, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to be that old man, dude. Like,
You're
no,
gonna be
it's
that
all
get,
about
you'll be that
delivery.
get off my lawn guy over
yeah,
here.
man, get off my lawn, bro. But no,
But it's all
I
about,
feel great, dude. Like,
I was gonna say, it's all about your delivery,
Mhm.
right? And I think a guy like you can deliver it in a way that's enlightening
Mhm.
rather than like
right, right.
shaming. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I
Yeah.
don't I just think that there's certain things in the game that I learned as a young one, like growing up, from the Yodas of the game, I guess you would say. You just the things you don't do. You just it's a gentleman's game. So you
Mhm.
ask the question. If you want to tap out, you just ask the group. It don't take 2 seconds to ask the group
Yeah.
if you can tap out or things like that. It's just little etiquette things that
Mhm.
that I learned growing up that I feel like should just be taken on into the sport. So
Yeah. Well, let's go back, man. Early 90s, 1991, I
yeah,
believe, is when you first started playing. How old were you when you first started playing disc golf?
I was 7.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy. And who introduced it to you? You're from Kentucky. What did that look like back then playing disc golf? And I mean, talk us through going from I'm 7 years old playing to now this is a job.
All right. That's a long story, man.
Oh, for sure.
No, so 7, my dad got me into it. we played golf. It was so expensive for my dad and me and my cousins and my brother and everybody to go. And my uncle loved to drink beer and go out and play disc golf at this course called Otter Creek Park, which was Steady Ed designed in 1970. If I'm not mistaken, it's 78. It could be
Wow.
79. The records are
Wow.
not really all
Mhm.
wrote down, but we still have the original mock baskets that are there from the 70s. So I started there. And then like we only had 2 courses locally from there until about 98, 97. So we had to drive like to Bowling Green or to Louisville to play Iroquois Park or go play
Mhm.
in Bowling Green at Cariacas and some of these other courses, Hobson Grove and stuff. So from like 7 to like 14, man, it was just going every summer with my dad to play disc golf at Otter Creek and have a good time and like see crazy shots because it's a tiny course, so you can throw an ultimate frisbee there,
Yeah.
everywhere. So,
That's cool.
but I guess when I was like 13 or 14, I found out what the X step was, and I met people like Scott Stokely and Dave Greenwell and Johnny Sias
Wow.
and Rick Vokes and just legends of the game, like, and just going, holy crap, I want to do that. Like, this was
Yeah.
awesome. Like the first time I seen a pro throw really far was Scott Stokely. I watched him throw like this 360 from Iroquois hole 1 and like almost aced hole 2, and it's like, what? It's
What?
just
That's
mind
possible?
blowing. Yeah. And I was like, I want to do that, Dad. And my dad was like, no, 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 we ain't doing that. We're not doing this. But I found out how to play, like how to rip the disc, how to get it out of my hand with that. That's kind of like that honey hole spot you're looking for when you throw a disc. Like you feel the snap, you feel the timing, you feel all of that. I felt that when I was like 13, and like I just stood out in the field every day, every summer for like 5 years, just throwing every single day, like hundreds of throws, hundreds of throws, hundreds of throws.
Mm.
And I got to where I was throwing really far, and then I told Dad, I was like, I want to play like tournaments. I want to see what this is all about. And we
Yeah.
found the PDGA in like '99. My dad got his PDGA number then, and then was like, he told me, "Let me see what this is all about before we get yours.
Right.
Let me check it out first, see if
Yeah.
it's
'Cause,
okay."
yeah, you got your PDGA in 2001.
Yeah, no, I got mine in '05.
05. Okay.
Yeah, so I waited like 6 years until I got my number, but I did play my first PDGA tournament in '01.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, which I won by 16 strokes.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
my God. We're gonna go back. The Lake Cumberland Open,
yeah,
a B tier, nonetheless.
yeah.
But what was a B tier back then? Like, was that really
I mean, I think it was like
anything?
250 added cash or something, like maybe $100 added
Yeah,
cash.
dude, you won by 16. Oh
Yeah.
my
So
God.
I didn't never we never played a tournament before. Like we
Yeah.
had no idea. And the course that we were playing, we had no dude, it was so hard back in the day. Like
Yeah.
we're playing with like I mean my first disc was like a DX Gazelle and a
Mhm.
DX AVR, things like that. So I remember this. I think it was the second round. I shot like a 2 over par, and I go up to Dave Greenwell, who's a legendary Hall of Famer player, right?
Yeah.
I was like, "What did you shoot?" He goes, "A 2 over." I was like, "Awesome! I tied you." And I'm like 17 years old, bro. Like I'm just stoked that I was like,
Right.
did this. And Brock Woodall, the guy that ran the tournament, gave me a huge bag. I mean, it's a big bag of sand, bro. Like, told me I was a sandbagger that had to move up divisions. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know what I'm doing here, bro. Like, I'm just playing frisbees, you
Or
know?
he physically gave you a
He
bag of
handed
sand?
you
Yeah,
sand?
dude, that was my trophy. This was awesome, bro.
Oh
So
my
I was hooked,
God.
dude. Like, dude, and not to mention, like so my very first tournament had one of the craziest things I've ever had happen to me in any tournaments my whole career. I think this is the world's this weekend is my 339th career tournament. So
Wow.
my very first tournament. Listen to this. We were on hole 18, and we're sitting there playing. It's me, and it's crazy. I'm on the lead card with 2 of my like dad's friends, Eddie and Brad, and then there's other gentleman on there. Well, this dude is carrying like a backpack with a few discs in it. Well, we didn't know that like on hole like 17 or 18, this dude pulls out a giant bong, and he's just like, yeah. And my my dad's friends are like, "Hey, man, the hell you doing?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you want to hit it?" And he's like, "No, bro. There's a kid here on this card. What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, my bad. I'll put it up." Like, dude, like the next shot, he like threw his shot and hit his hand on this tree and broke his hand and had to drop out of the tournament.
What?
Yeah. It
I
was
I
crazy.
have so many questions about it.
Bring it, dude, bring it.
Oh.
Okay. I can't even bring a beer on the course without spilling it.
Yeah.
How is this dude carting a water pipe around all day long?
What the
I have
hell?
no idea. He must have like hit this thing a few times through the round when he like sneaked off into the woods or something, but like he
Yeah.
never had pull it out. It was like the
Insane.
craziest thing that's ever happened to me on a golf
Oh
tournament.
my god,
That's
was
insane.
awesome.
And I'm looking back at this this tournament. Everyone's PDGA number at this tournament is like, except for you, is sub like 15,000. Like
Yeah.
this is early days.
Oh yeah.
Some notable names here too on this, and one that's pretty wild to see. Local Atlanta legend Forrest Callaway played this tournament.
Forrest.
Old Forrest. Also Brad Hammock taking second place.
Yep.
Oh
Which is
wow.
crazy. And thinking about ratings back then, I mean, it's crazy to see the way ratings were and what it took to actually
It's
win
wild,
back then.
Yeah.
I mean, you got players that are, you know, not even, you know, in the 950s that are topping tournaments. It's really cool to see that long ago. But
Wow.
growing up in the sport, seeing it change, there's so many different things. Where you're from, Elizabethtown originally, or was it, where are you from?
Okay, I'm a military brat too. So
Okay.
I was born in Elizabethtown, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Family things happened. I moved away. Like my second round of disc golf ever was in Oklahoma because I was so excited
Hmm.
about my dad showing me that I went out and played one day after school when I was like 10.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Kansas, and then I moved back to Kentucky. It's just a lot of moving parts.
Yep.
So high school is kind of when I start thinking about like disc golf and like what I wanted to do with
Hmm.
disc golf. So that was in Meade County, Kentucky. Is Brandenburg. That's where Otter Creek Park and Meade Olin Park is from. Those are like two of the oldest courses in Kentucky. They're in the same county. So the
Hmm.
county, E-Town is, we call it E-Town, not
Yep.
Elizabethtown.
Oh yeah,
Elizabethtown's
E-Town,
anyway,
baby.
nobody knows about
Hmm.
that. Anyway, so it's the county below us. And when they put in Freeman Lake Park when I was 15,
Yep.
it's kind of when I started to throw really far. I figured out how to throw far because I had a golf course that I could unleash discs on instead of
Yep.
just throwing. So like all my courses in my area like taught me how to play all the types of golf, like
Hmm.
woods golf, open golf, like golf course golf, like all that stuff. Um, and I was into sports too, but I never really found like one that made me feel like disc golf felt like it kept me out of
Mhm.
trouble in high school. Like I wasn't partying, I wasn't doing anything crazy. I was just going to the disc golf course, doing and playing with my buddies, and
Yeah.
I just like, or my dad and my dad's friends. Like people ask me all the time, like, what's your card of dream card? And it's like my dad and his buddies, bro. Like I don't even care about these pros. I played with all these dudes before,
Yeah.
man. Like
I
these
love
guys are
it.
getting old. I won't get to play with them very much longer, so I want to play
Yeah.
with them as much as I can. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, like I kind of grew up in E-Town, kind of grew up in Meade County.
Yeah.
It's all the same area. It's all the local
Mhm.
area, but
Yep. So I
um,
actually know E-Town really well because my mom's from there. So
that's awesome.
yeah, my grandfather was also military. They grew up all over, but they retired closer to Fort Knox and all that.
Yeah,
So they still live in E-Town.
that's
My
crazy.
aunt's actually a judge in Radcliffe. My cousin is a police officer in E-Town. He's E-Town police.
That's
So I've
crazy.
actually played Freeman Lake. I grew up going there. We literally, my grandparents had a house over there. We'd go to camp and be at my grandparents' house for a
Yeah.
week. So
Where's the
I
camp?
grew
What
up.
camp? Is it Camp
It was
Nakayo?
no, it was camp at their house at
Oh
their
wow. Okay, I got you.
at
Got
their
you.
property.
Because there's a
Just
course at
going up
Camp
there.
Nakayo now.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah, I
my
know
dad
exactly where.
designed like 3 of the courses in that area. So if you played
That's wild.
Muldrow or Radcliffe or anything like
I've
that,
only ever played Freeman Lake, and I only
really,
go there for nowadays. I only go there for holidays. So I've only played Freeman Lake with Christmas decorations up, which is hilarious. I'm
right?
sure you've done this. The
Yeah.
huge
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
freaking like parade they do at Freeman
Christmas in the
Lake.
park.
Dude, Christmas in the park, and you're some of those tee shots. There's a decoration
Yeah.
on the tee pad,
Yeah.
and so you're literally
They
like,
actually take the baskets out now for when
"Oh,
it's
do they?
there.
Okay."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
played like
Okay.
2 years ago, and it was they were still there because
Oh,
I
you're
I
probably the
broke
reason they
I
did it, man. Thanks. Yeah.
probably I was about to say I
Yeah.
definitely broke a Santa like right in the like hit a Santa's leg. Yeah, it was very comical. I have to post a video
You have to
on
if next
Instagram
time
of
you
it.
come to
It's so
E-Town,
funny.
man, hit me up. We
Oh,
have a
I will.
private course in the
Oh,
backyard. It's
heck
the
yeah.
hardest course in the whole area. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there around Thanksgiving, so I'll definitely hit you up.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
cool to see like from E-Town and from Kentucky and stuff. And it's neat to see players that you've played for this long and you still, like you said, your favorite people to play with is like, yeah, I play with my dad and his buddies.
Yeah.
Talk about the tournament your dad's run in Kentucky for all these years. It's like a legendary, like unsanctioned tournament. I've heard word of this. What is the story behind this?
Oh man, I don't even know what people are talking about. We haven't really ran any tournaments too much, really. We just do like we have like a league every Tuesday that's at my
Okay.
dad's house and stuff, and he's been running it for 26 years.
Whoa.
Oh
Yeah, so like
man.
we've been doing stuff in disc golf forever in my area. My cousins
Yeah.
plays like my whole family play. If you go to my area like Meade County or Louisville
Hmm.
or any of those areas and you say Harbolt, like they all know. Like it's like they just know us, you know what I mean? Like it's it's cool as hell,
Yeah.
actually. Like, because like it's just disc golf's been my life and my dad's life and my cousin's life. It's just been our
Mm.
life. So, it's been a fun journey for real. I'd rather play with my dad and his buddies because they're
Mm.
fun and loud and they don't take it so seriously. And like I've been playing so competitively for so long now, like on tour and stuff. Like I forgot what it feels like to have fun sometimes. You know,
Wow.
you know, a lot of people say, oh, like, oh, you got to have the coolest job in the world. Yeah, it's cool, man, but it's still a freaking job. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
like sometimes you don't like the people you work with. Sometimes you don't even like what you're doing, but you still do it. You know, like I'm not at that position where I'm like, I, I'm only doing it because that's all I know. I do it because I love it. Like I've been playing this game since I was like 7-year-old kid, man. I'm 40 now, dude. Like I've had a couple breaks, you know, like where I've taken like 4 or 5 years off. You can see it on my PDGA stats where like I went pro, I sucked, I came back to AM, I did good. I was like, damn, I should probably play pro. Then like again, life stuff happens, and I was like, man, my cousin was like, dude, you need to play golf again. And I was like, I don't want to, bro. Like it makes me mad. And he's
Mhm.
like, you got to get over that. So we played a doubles tournament, and I think it was like 2013, and we didn't cash. We missed cash because of an island hole, and it lit this fire under me, dude. And I was like, I'm ready to go, bro. So ever since then, I've just been playing on tour. So I
Gosh,
had a
that's
band. I was in
awesome.
a metal band and stuff, dude, for like 10 years. So like we were signed to a record label. That band split up, and like it was
Crazy.
really cool, bro. Like I had a cool like other alternate life where I mean, like I guarantee you if all these metal people saw me right now, like when this tie dye and like all this, they'd be like, what the hell happened to you? And it's like, nah, man, I was just really good at screaming. I'm not a big fan of like the scene and the metal stuff. Like I like the music and I like the screaming,
Yeah.
but some things I don't like what they talk about. And I'm more like vibey, dude. I'd rather just vibe. So I was just good at screaming at people, bro. Like I worked at a haunted house for years, dude. So screaming at people just came second nature, dude. So
All right, we got to hear give me a story from the haunted house. What's
oh,
the
oh,
funniest like what when you think I worked at a haunted house, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
my mom, made my mom piss herself, bro.
Oh,
No
Yeah,
way.
like so I worked for like 8 years at this haunted house. We was in a corn maze and stuff, dude. And like
oh
I
my
was like
god.
actor of the year there for a couple years in a row, like 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years in a row. I was like
Wow.
their guy. I had my own character and like I did some crazy stuff, bro. But
Oh my god.
I jumped off a school bus, like the top of a school bus, in these big military boots, bro, with a chainsaw in midair, chainsaw, right in front of my mom, dude. She pissed all over herself. Got her.
Dude, that's so
Oh, I love
good.
Kentucky.
Yeah,
Oh my
man.
god. That's
Dude,
wild.
haunted houses in Kentucky are for
Oh,
real.
I've been to
Yeah,
them when I was a kid. I
yeah,
remember. It's terrifying.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Hopefully, I
That
might
is
have scared you, man.
Oh no, you probably did. Yeah. You're the reason why I have nightmares as a 30-year-old. There you
That's what I'm
go.
talking about, dude. Let's go.
That was you all along.
I dated this
Oh
girl
my
that told
god.
me, like, I pulled out my mask out of my trunk, and she was like, "Oh my god." She remembered me. I scared the out of her, dude. Like, yeah.
I love it. So
That's
you're
incredible.
famous in so many different realms
Yeah.
then, man. You got
I don't play
frisbees,
around,
you got
bro.
Uh-huh.
scaring, you got the screaming.
I got to
Yeah, you
leave a
got it.
mark, bro, on the world
Yeah.
somehow, dude. Like they say that you can't change the world, but you can make a dent. That's from Death of Smoochie Boys, just to let you know.
I
Come
like
on.
that. I like
That's
that.
awesome. Well, dude, talk about, I mean, your travel. You're in
Mm.
this year alone. I feel like you've been all over the world.
Yeah.
You started this year in February being in Thailand, and then you played a couple tournaments there, had, absolute battle at the Chiang Mai Open, and then you were in Iceland. Like, talk about disc golf and traveling in the places that it's been able to take you, even this year or just in general.
Well, I only got my passport like a year ago, so
Wow.
I just went all in, man.
Yeah.
I went to Iceland last year. I had so much fun that I had to go back, so I'll get back to that one. But
Mhm.
this year alone, I've been to. I won a B tier in New Zealand. I got second at a B tier in New Zealand. I won a New Zealand tournament, the Topal Open. Those guys, New Zealand is awesome, man. That's where I got this little charm here too, is New Zealand. Then we went to Thailand, had an epic battle with Shasta, Team DGA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watching him shoot a 17 under at the last round in front of my face was epic,
Insane.
dude. It was so awesome. It should be
Yeah.
coming out in coverage. Terry Miller will drop it sometime soon.
Heck yeah.
Okay, cool.
Um, and then, I had fun over those 2 places. I went to Singapore, crazy place there. Came back to the States, had some up and down season so far. I say we'll get into that, but then I go to Iceland again. It's just fun, dude. Traveling across the world is so much more eye-opening than staying here in the States.
Mhm.
I like want to go everywhere. I don't even want to play in the States anymore. I've played so many courses, bro. I want to go. I got a friend Martin that keeps asking me to come to Germany. I've got people like in New Zealand that's like, "Are you coming back?" I want to go to Finland. I want to go to Norway and Sweden. Like,
Yeah.
I want to play disc golf everywhere, man. Like,
Yeah.
I've grown up in this game, so to see like to see the game like worldwide now, and like
Mm.
people like from other countries coming to play our world champ. We got a worlds in Finland next year, boys. Like, that's
Dude,
insanity. Like,
I was gonna
insane.
ask.
Yeah.
Do you think you would go to
I'm
Worlds
going.
next
Yeah,
year?
I think I'm going to. From what I understand, because I have to defend my title in Iceland, because I won that 8 tier.
Mhm.
Crazy story. I took a 9 on the last hole and still won.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
I think I shot 17 over on hole 18 alone in 3
What
rounds. Yeah,
the
it was ridiculous. Something like that. I took like 17 strokes. Something crazy. Um,
heck?
but I think though they're doing like the Iceland, the Reykjavik Open the weekend before the World Championships next year. So
Oh, that's
Oh,
perfect.
people
wow.
will be able to hop to Iceland and then hop over to Finland if they
Okay.
like. And I'm definitely going to. Like, you have to go experience Iceland. Like,
Oh,
if you could choose one place in the world, man, if I could tell you where to go, like, I would say Iceland. It's the safest country for one, for
Mm.
people like solo travel, for women, for all that. And it's just so damn amazing, bro. Like,
yeah.
just the country itself, the people are so sweet. Like, it's so good, man. But yeah, winning a tournament over there was awesome, bro. Like,
I bet,
You're an
man. I
international
bet.
champion, dude. Look at
bro,
you
I'm a
go.
freaking legend in Iceland now, dude. Like, it's like they root for me, bro. They like I've got like, if you look on my Facebook and you see like people like commenting or liking, it's
Mhm.
like all these people's names you can't read. Like,
That's awesome.
it's awesome. I love those guys, man. They're great. But traveling has been so different and so fun. You learn so much about so many cultures, and
Mm,
but the one thing that I tell you that I've learned that I love the most about traveling abroad and going to all these other places to play disc golf is, again, I've been playing golf since I was a kid. And to see all these other people from all these other cultures and different countries love it just like I do.
mm.
Oh, man, it melts my little heart, dude. Like, it does. I'm so happy to be a part of this game, man. Like, it's great.
That's so cool. And it transcends language, transcends economic
Yeah.
status, like all of it. It doesn't matter.
It's awesome.
Um,
Yeah, the
my
cat.
cat joining the podcast.
It's so
Let's
cute.
hear it, Mortimer. What do you got to
Yeah.
say?
Morty, what you got,
The
bro?
cat, his name's Mortimer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
dude.
Mortimer.
Oh, dude, it's awesome.
Yeah. He's just biting at my legs, like, please pick me up. So anyway, to derail. But let's talk about your time with DGA. How long have you been sponsored with DGA now?
This is my 4th year with DGA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. And I'm looking on your profile here and everything. What's it been like to be with a team for this long? I feel like we're in a time with so many players changing bags, changing different things. You've been with the team for 4 years. Do you have discs in your bag that you've been playing with the whole time?
Yeah, I do. And actually, I just lost my favorite one like a week ago, so I was pretty bummed.
Oh,
I lost my baby blue torrent. Everybody that's a DGA
oh
team, they
no.
know which one that is, man. That's
Yeah,
my
man.
that's my
Hmm.
baby. But no, I've got, my first icebreaker I pulled out of the box when they gave me those. I got that one still in the bag. The black on black murdered out one. I've got
Heck yeah.
my first Rift in the bag still. Like,
Wow.
yeah, I don't.
Crazy.
I'm an old school player, man. I don't like doing the whole like putting in new discs in my bag unless I have to. I like to beat in my disc and get them real seasoned in, like
Mhm.
that's how I like it. But
Yeah. What talk about the icebreaker here. I mean, this has been something that's how many years have you done the icebreaker?
so I've only done the icebreaker 1 year. First year was a pro line swirly breaker with me riding a shark.
Okay.
The
Yeah, so I was gonna
second
ask this.
year,
What's all the things you've ridden? I know this is
yeah,
like a big
that's
deal
the
of all
thing, man.
the
Yeah.
animals you're riding.
So the first one was a shark because I love
Okay.
sharks. Jaws is my favorite movie. Like, I'm probably gonna get eaten by a shark. It's fine. It's cool. Everything's fine. Um, The second one was, which is a crazy. So the second one was me riding a narwhal that had a beard,
Yes.
and it was
Oh
the
yeah.
icebreaker, which I think
Yeah.
to this day I think is the best run of breakers there ever is. Um,
Mhm.
this honestly, the reason I went to Iceland is a dude from Iceland was like, "We have your disc with the narwhal. You should come to Iceland." And I'm like, "Okay," like so I did.
Let's go.
Um, and then last year I was my tour fundraiser disc was me riding a turtle, sea turtle, and then this year is me riding the orca. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
So it's all breakers. I think the breakers hands down the greatest upshot putter disc there ever has been. You can argue with me, you're not gonna win. I don't care. It's and like being on DGA has been special to me because there's two reasons. First of all, like I threw tsunamis, squalls, and stuff like that back in the day when I was younger because I loved them. I think the tsunami was one of my favorite discs growing up.
Yeah.
And they're Discraft's cousins, bro. I've thrown nothing but Discraft DGA plastic since I was 14. Like I
Wow.
was dumb and young and threw that other stuff, but like when I got to 14 and I started understanding what good plastic was, I started throwing Discraft and DGA, and I've never thrown anything since. So
That's incredible.
Man.
26 years or something, I've never thrown any other brand. Like people are like, "You ever just here? Have you ever thrown a destroyer?" I'm like, "Never thrown one. Have no idea what it does." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I would never do that. It's like burning my hand, bro." It's like, no, I would never do that. So
That's nuts. I love that though. I mean,
That's
committing
respect
to
for
it
sure.
and being in it. I mean, gosh, yeah.
and
Does
that's one thing
is
you
your
touched on. You said that people like to switch their companies, bro. Like,
yeah.
man, loyalty means a lot, I
Yep.
think. And it's kind of the reason maybe I'm still sponsored. Like, I mean, I know I'm a decent player and I've got, social media, I got good personality, all these things, but like, so also, what have you done for me lately? So, um, just me being me and what I've done I feel like is a reason I'm still sponsored, to be honest, dude. So,
Yeah.
but I love DGA. I would never throw anything else now. So
Yeah.
And I mean,
That's
the
incredible.
breaker, dude, like there's nothing better than a breaker or a quake. I think the quake has really taught me
Mhm.
how to throw sidearms better. Like it's such a controllable disc. The Rift is like probably the second best disc compared to a Buzz ever. Like Buzz, then Rift is like right there to me. I love my Hellfires, like in the Torrent, dude. Like I throw Torrents so far for a 40
Dude,
year old man, dude. Let's be
me
real.
too. Listen, I'm in my 30s and bro, torrents go far.
They do. They're
Forehand,
so good,
backhand,
man.
I love them so much. Don't have any of the old run ones. I really want to get some older run.
Yeah, I have one
I've
more.
only ever thrown the stock ones, so that's all I got is the new ones. But
The first one, like the older ones, they're a little flippier, and I
that's what
love
I've
it for
heard.
that hyzer flip.
Yeah, those are sweet. Well, I love that. I love the loyalty, like you said, of like why people switching brands and stuff like that. Like throw what you know, but I think the family side of it too, and like being able to be a part of a brand that fits who you are,
Yeah.
and that means so much. And I feel like there's people on DGA specifically that just fit the brand, and you're definitely one of those people.
Oh,
So
thank you.
it's super cool to see you stick with it for the couple years, and then having such an iconic disc that literally brings you to another country because you're like you have a
Dude,
narwhal.
it's
Like,
crazy. Yeah, dude.
that's so wild.
And
That's so
also like
cool.
when I signed with DGA 4 years ago, like it was such an easy move and transition for me because everybody at DGA is literally like a family. Like they are
Mhm.
so cool, like all the way back to the guys in the back, like everybody there is just like a family. They have that feel, they have that vibe. They're all so nice and so sweet. They're there supporting me every weekend. Though, I get messages from all those dudes from the factory, like Caesar and Matt
Yeah.
and KG and all of them. The only one I don't is Scott. We're gonna have a talk. Um, he's got my phone number, never hits me up anymore. It's like I'm not his friend anymore or something. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. But no, I love DGA. They're the best, man, for real.
For the guys back at the factory listening to this, you're welcome. Oh
Right.
my god.
Yeah.
Gage is in the background cracking up.
I'm ruthless,
That's
bro. I don't.
that's so good. That's so good. And I agree. I mean, I've been sponsored. This is my first year with DGA, and I feel the same way. There's just something different. There's something special about the family and what we're doing, and it's cool to be a part of.
And they have the best baskets.
Yeah, dang
That's
right.
facts right
That's
there.
so
That's facts.
true. It's so true. Get us a standard basket on tour. Let DGA build it. End of conversation.
That's
Well,
it.
man, let's talk about your year too. You've done something that I know a lot of people would love to do and think they can never do. You are multiple months in from quitting cigarettes and something. How long? I mean, how long did you smoke for? What is it that change been like? I mean, it's crazy. That is a life changing thing to do.
Um, So I started smoking when I was like 13. Like my mom smoked cigarettes and she liked to smoke the Marlboro hundreds. And she would only smoke half of them. And as a kid, it's like, well, I want to try those. They do it. So I tried it, got hooked, loved it my whole life. I still love it. I just don't do it
Mhm.
anymore. It's not good for me. It's not good for
Yeah.
anybody, really. I smoked for 27 years, boys, and I told myself I don't like to eat food either. I don't like good food. I'm like a kid, like chicken tenders, bro, macaroni and cheese. I felt like if I can do something healthy, maybe I'll make myself feel better. So honestly, man, I just told myself I don't need to smoke anymore. And on December 31st, that morning, I smoked my last cigarette, and I told myself not to do it anymore. No crutches. I don't want any vaping. I don't want none of that. I'm just gonna quit and see if I can do it. And honestly, it's
Hmm.
not been that hard. It's really
Wow.
mind over matter, bro. Like it's just put them down. That's really it, man. And it's probably it's a hard thing to do. For a lot of people, I guarantee it. I thought about smoking a cigarette here and there every once in a while, but and I've came too far to even do that now. So it's 6 months in now, and I'm good to go, bro. I feel healthier. I feel like I can breathe more. But I put on weight, bro. I don't like that. Like, like I'm like 167 pounds. That's like the heaviest I've ever been. Like for real. Like I'm a small dude. Like I'm 5'11". Most of the time I've been at like 148, 152 pounds.
Yeah.
So I'm putting on weight, and it's kind of making me feel like I'm slowing down a little bit on
Mm.
my arm speed slowing down or something. Something's off a little, so I don't feel like I'm like ripping the disc all the way through. So it's a transition. I'm figuring it all
Mhm.
out.
That's awesome, though, man. It takes a lot of willpower to just say, "Yep," and you're the last one.
Yeah, man.
I'm done. No more. Because then you go out, you have a beer. Guys are smoking.
Yep.
You go to the disc golf course. Guys are smoking.
Yep.
Right, and
Mhm.
you smell it, and you're like, "Gosh,
Throw a
man,
bad
God."
shot. I want one.
Yes,
Mhm.
You know?
right? And it's like it is you use it as a crutch a lot of the time, right? Or just like, "I don't wanna do that right now. Let me go take a break. Let me go smoke a
Right.
cigarette."
Exactly.
Have you been substituting anything instead of like, not like a nicotine pouch or like, do
Nope.
you like, "I'm gonna go for a walk," or anything along those lines? No?
What, me walk? No, dude. I walk enough playing frisbees, bro. I'm not trying to.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
yeah.
honestly like the only thing that I've done differently is probably smoke more weed. Like literally, I've probably just done that a little bit more. But like, I don't. Nah, man. I'm not even worried about it. I just told myself I don't want to do it no more. And
Yeah.
like, I don't stink anymore, dude. Like, I don't smell bad. I don't have cigarette butts in my pockets all the time anymore. Like when I'm in the
Yeah.
washer and dryer, like I don't have cigarette butts. My car doesn't smell all over I don't have any of that anymore. Like my disc
Yeah.
golf bag has no cigarette butts. Are you serious? Like this is awesome because I never threw them on the ground. Like I'm a
Good on
hippie in
you.
that way, bro. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
like litter, but I'm gonna put them all in my bag and make my bag smell like cigarettes, and then like throw it in the washer, and then the whole washer smells like. It's a bad habit and it stinks. And like let's be honest, man. I got beautiful hair, bro. I don't want it smelling like cigarettes, dude. Like ladies don't like the smell of it, man.
Yeah.
Like nah, I'm
Facts.
good. I'm out.
Yeah.
Done. See you later.
Nice.
Cigarettes. Everybody should quit. And quit vaping too. It's even worse for you.
Mhm.
Glad you
Dude.
said that.
Facts. That's awesome. Well, I mean, I wanted to hit on that because it's a feat. It's something that I think is not to take lightly. So congrats on that to
Thanks,
be
man.
6 months and doing that. It's
Yeah.
huge, especially 27 years, man.
Yeah,
That's
man. I
crazy.
unlocked an achievement, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Truly, like,
yeah.
I
Real.
mean, yeah,
Real
if for
talk.
real achievement. So congrats to that
Thank you.
and headstrong to be able to keep moving forward with that. Well, man, let's talk about your season so far and what this has looked like jumping up to Masters. You made a pretty big post and talking about what it meant to you to be able to play Masters and be able to say, I've been playing this long and now I'm here. Kind of share a little bit about this journey and then now being able to play Masters.
That was the hardest, kind of one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make. Man, I'm a competitor, bro. Like everything, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, put me on the Monopoly game, dude. I'm whooping you. Like I'm competitor. I love to. It's sad, but I love to win. Like, who doesn't love to win, right? Like, I
Mhm.
don't. Anybody that says they don't love to win, they're not in the right sport they're playing. They're not doing it right. Like Kobe Bryant, dude. If he lost the finals, bro, you were not going to hear from that man. Like, it's just like, competitive fire is something different in athletes, and it took a lot for me to go, let's take this hat off and then put on another hat and take my ego and set it aside. I love it. I love Masters golf, man. I'm having so much more fun. I feel I feel alive. I feel young, dude. It's like a like lit a fire back under me because dude, at 38, 39, when you're playing against Gannon Burrs and Kyle Kleins and Cobra Dollins, like
Mhm.
you're like, holy dude, like time, father time is real, you know, like,
Yeah.
and you learn. And like, I know a lot of the pros, masters, they're like want to play pro, you know, they want to play open. And like, while I know I can, like, and while I know I can still compete, bro, we've earned this time. Like, I've been playing so long, man. I don't want to play with those kids no more. Like, I earned my right to come up here and play in the 40-year-old division and compete and show my skill. You know, like, been doing
Mhm.
it a long time, so now it's time for me to like reap some benefits. I feel it's been a little bit
Totally.
easier to win some money, which has
Mm.
been cool. You know, like, um, it's just been a different vibe, I guess. Like, I get to like every weekend, I get to see legendary players, dude.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like the players that are making their name right now and making themselves legends, like that's great. It's good and fun. But man, these guys here, bro, like
Mhm.
this is what it's all about. Like I feel like I was in the perfect spot.
Hmm.
I got to meet all the legends like from the past when I was like a kid. Like Scott Stokely and I are friends, but I'm also friends with Gannon Burr.
Right.
Like it's a crazy spot that I've been put in, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna take every bit of it, man, and like use it to my advantage. Like I love this stuff, dude. This is when I was in high school telling people I want to play disc golf for a living. They were all like, "Look at me now, bro. I've been doing it for like ever." And I feel like I'm the happiest I've ever been. Like I don't
Mm.
make millions of dollars. I don't make, you know, a bunch of money, but man, I'm so happy, dude. Like I it's the greatest thing that you could ever ask for me to do. I never want to do anything else ever again. Like, just keep me on the disc golf course. If I have the support, I'm going to continue to do it, you know, until I can. But it's moving over was hard because I dreamed about playing on tour. You know, like
Mhm.
when I was growing up, it was Ken Climo versus Barry Schultz. You know, and like I was ready for that. I remember what playing meeting. I think I met Nico when he was like 14. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so like to jump over there and like I think the hardest thing has been like I miss all my friends,
Mhm.
um, but I forgot that I have all these old friends, you know,
Yeah.
like so it's crazy, but I love it and I'm playing good. I'm having a great season. Like
Yeah.
been a couple hiccups here and there where I'm like just trying to learn certain things. You know, jumping from a big pro course like say OTB or Portland and going and playing Cedar Hill and Nashville, you're just like, well, this is different. Like so you're
Right.
almost like relearning the game, relearning how to throw mid ranges because you don't do that on pro tour. You know, you don't really
Yeah.
use your fairways too much unless you're Calvin and you can throw a T-bird 500 feet. You know, like
Right.
I mean, it's a different ball game, but it's the ball
Yeah.
game I remember.
Yeah, I mean, you're surrounded by so like you said, I think you hit it nail on the head. Like you came up at an age where you got to watch these legends that our sport was built on, but then also were relevant and still, you know, in the mix when you had your Gannon Burrs and you had these next generations. I mean, you first row seat to watch the Paul versus Ricky battle over years.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean? And those kind of things. And now, like you said, being able to circle back, and I mean, you're sitting 13th right now in the Global Masters Series. But the guys who are around you, I mean, you look at Kale Leviska, you look at Matt Dollar, Pete Ulibarri, Steve Rico, Shasta, Dutch. I mean, Brinster, Philo, like these are guys that like are household names that you're now, like you said, it's almost like you kind of can go back in time and you're like, wow, I get to play with people I like you looked up to
Yeah.
when you were, you know, as a kid.
Dude, go to the 60 and 70-year division and you're seeing like people like
Wow.
Dean Tannick, bro, and like Pete
Yeah.
May and man,
Mm.
it's like for those people that don't know these guys, man, I just go do some history research, man, and just learn who these guys were. Like I think this Masters Worlds is one of the coolest tournaments I've ever played, and I've only played one round.
Yeah. Why
And
is that?
Wow.
man, it's like see all the people here, bro. Like you walk around and it's like legend, 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 you know, and like some of these guys don't even know like who these legendary players are. You know, like some of these young kids, they don't even know. I feel like the PDGA or disc golf in general should really like take a hold of our history and start really like figuring out how to like unravel it for people to understand. Like
Yeah.
Mm.
that's one thing I think that we as a sport don't have that we need, like, is the
Mm.
history and the telling. I think Steve Dodge is doing some really cool stuff right now with the like talking about the history. Scott's been doing some. There's a dude named Dennis Wardsden out of California doing some stuff, but I think we just our story needs to be told. And if I have to be that guy because I'm right in the middle, man, I'll be that guy. Whatever, let's do
Yeah.
it. I got to find the platform to do it on. So,
You'd be the coolest history teacher ever, man.
yeah, that'd be dope, right? Like this long-haired hippie dude that throws frisbees. But
I love it.
it's great.
Who's winning Masters Worlds? Who do you think
Joe
is going to take
Revere
it?
is smoking everybody at this
Dude,
moment.
Yeah,
It's
he's looking
nuts.
good.
But he
It's
said he's
nuts.
injured. He says his shoulder's messed up
Really?
right now. Yeah, like before the round, he was like, I'm having a little injury in my shoulder. And it's like, oh yeah, you're shooting 1070 with a shoulder injury. Thanks, bud.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm
Like,
looking at his round right now. I'm like, yeah, shoulder injury, but you got a 2 on a 400-foot hole, like
Yeah.
on hole 13. Like, all right, bro.
yeah, my pick, honestly, my pick before we started was Paul Oman.
Yeah.
I thought he could have played these courses so well. He had a rough ending to the round today, but
Mhm.
he still can do it. Like I mean, I've seen him shoot so many fire rounds, but
Yep.
Yeah.
at the moment, Joe's looking tough, bro.
Are they doing 6 rounds? Is it 6
So
full
weird.
rounds?
Yeah,
So like, from what
talk
I
about you getting to Emporia. We like, I mean, did you even realize like we're starting a tournament on Tuesday? Like what?
okay, man. Let me go back to his question real quick.
Oh, yeah,
We're
you're good.
playing 4 rounds and then a cut, and then we have a semifinal at 8 o'clock shotgun start or something, and then they do the final on Saturday. So doing semifinals and finals on Saturday.
Are those 9 holes or is it 18 holes?
18 and 9?
The
Okay.
finals are 9.
Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
just going to be a
Finals on 4
4-person
people.
final 9.
Yeah,
Yeah,
top
yeah,
4
yeah.
advanced.
Okay.
Wow.
Now back to your question. It's been a crazy journey. I went to Iceland, and then in the Iceland trip, like they we got on our plane, and they were like, look, the winds are too heavy, we cannot open the cargo door, so we cannot put your luggage on the plane. We're going to fly you though. So literally the scariest freaking flight I've ever been on in my entire life. Like,
Yeah.
it was terrifying. But I didn't get my luggage for like 5 days. So I like get to the Louisville airport, and I drive straight to Bloomington, Indiana, and win a B tier the next day. Never played these courses before in my life. So I'm like, okay. Then I drive to Tennessee, played that one. Then I'm like, okay, I signed up for the River City Open in Michigan. Man, let's just go, So I go all the way up there, and then I shot a 10-25 first round, a 10-24 second round, and then like I tried to give it up in the first 5 holes, but they didn't want it, I guess. So like I decided to play some golf, and then got to hole 18, threw my breaker straight out of bounds on the 3rd shot, hit like a 50-foot putt to save my 5 to win by 3. And I was like, oh yeah, now we got to go to Emporia. So I drove 12 hours straight to Emporia, got there at midnight, like 12:30, got up the next morning, practiced Champions Landing, got a decent round of sleep, and then got up this morning and go play Champions Landing, shot a 10:05 rated round, and now I'm going to get hopefully some good rest.
My
Goodness
God.
gracious,
I'm a
bro.
grinder,
You're a
bro.
machine. You're a
Yeah,
machine is
this
what you
is
are. This is
nuts.
insane.
My body hates me, dude. Let's be real.
I bet it likes you now that you're more now that you're not smoking cigarettes though.
Yeah, man. And I think that could be an attestament of like why like I can do that at this moment. Like I've been playing disc golf so long, bro. Like the game, like the shots are there. They're always there. Like I can go. I'm playing Jones East tomorrow blind, fellas.
Wow.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
I played so many courses. I played Jones East. I've seen that property so much. They can only change so much. I don't really like. All I do is keep it in bounds. If I keep it in bounds and I throw it to the basket and I miss my putt, I take a par. Whatever.
Yep.
Like a par golf is good in Emporia, especially with wind. So
Yeah.
I'm not tripping. Like it is what it is. Like watch me come
How
out and win this thing.
How is Champions Land? Yeah, come on, dude. How is Champions Landing? Or is it the same layout that Pro Tour played? It's got to be a different layout with being Masters.
So if you know DDO well,
yeah.
Hole 1 is the ladies.
Okay.
Right. So that's par 5.
Yeah.
The second hole is the same. Hole 3, hole 4. No, hole 4 is not the same. We played the short position to the left now.
Okay, so it's a little bit of a mix.
Yeah, 5's the same, 6's the same, 7's the same,
Yeah.
8's the same, 9's the same.
It's a 10,500 foot course still.
It's a big course, man.
It's huge.
Yeah, my only bogey today, man, it was I threw it to the basket. I pitched up to the basket on my 3rd shot to save my par, and I hit that stupid blue thing around the pole.
Oh, the koozie?
Yeah,
koozie
man, it
thing?
deaded my stuff, rolled like 30 feet away, and then I missed the putt. I could blame it on that koozie thing, but I missed the putt, So
yeah,
my only bogey.
Man, well, I
only had 3 birdies.
yeah. That's Champions Landing. There you go.
It's
Yeah.
fun. I mean, it's a good course. I think there's a couple of changes in my personal opinion. I think there's a couple of things they could have done a little bit differently for the Masters division, but other than that, it's a good course. It's
Yeah.
boring, but it's a good course.
Yeah. But I mean, it's cool. You get to play Masters Worlds. You get to jump on the tour, the Masters Tour, and everything, and do that. What's it been like to play the Masters Tour and the schedule, the kind of consistency of it's a lot more. It seems like it's less organized and less consistent of the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
I don't want to say too much, I guess, but
Yeah.
I'll put it this way: when you put too many things on one plate, it's kind of hard to eat all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so just putting yourself in all these other hats that you're wearing,
Yeah.
it's going to be hard to put a lot of focus. That's one thing that I think that people do wrong in the world. I think people put too many. They do too many things. They think they have to do too many things. So like their one thing that they want to do isn't the best because they're not
Yeah.
focused on it. But it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying the Masters Tour is bad or anything. I think it just could be tightened up and maybe have some more help. I think that's literally what happens. But all the tournaments are ran good. Everything's great. Like I'm looking forward to making the finale and playing for the lot of money Callie has in the Masters Tour. But
Yeah.
literally, I just try to like go right now. I think I'm just going to all my favorite courses, like and playing Masters. Like there's some big tournaments, like say the Des Moines Challenge by DGA for the Masters.
Yep.
Going there, going to like some bigger tournaments, Ledgestone Masters, things like that. And then I'll just kind of piece them together. So that's kind of what's happening.
Heck yeah, man. Well, I mean, incredible to see the jump and see the humility that it's taken to jump to Masters to change. But I'm loving seeing you enjoy it. You seem, like you said, you're happier, you're having fun and doing it, and get to play Masters Worlds and surrounded by legends and legends and legends. So it's freaking awesome. Thanks for joining us, man. Zach, you got any last minute questions here?
No, I just want to say thanks for taking the time. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being real with us too. I appreciate it.
That's
100%.
one thing that a lot of people tell me they're a fan of me is because I'm real. And I'll tell everybody, I won't lie to you, man, but most of the time, like I'm just so real that it hurts your feelings. So my bad.
Hey,
but no, I love the sport. I love what you guys are doing, man. You guys are awesome. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yeah, Gage, he's the man too, you know.
Gage is the man.
Such a good guy.
Heck yeah, dude. Well, Trevor, thank you so much, brother. Congrats on a great season so far. Go enjoy Jones East tomorrow blind. We'll definitely be following along. Check in with you for sure. But dude, enjoy Masters Worlds, and I'll see you in Des Moines.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it. I do want to shout out DGA. Thank you guys for everything. Breaker's the greatest disc ever. Go buy one. My new one is out. Coolest art by Skeet, and you can get one from me personally, or you can go to greatlakesdisc.com and get one from them and use my code Trevor10 and get you a discount.
Heck yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Sweet, dude. Thanks, Trevor. We appreciate it, dude.
Good luck, brother.
Peace, buddy. Thanks, Trevor, for joining us. And man, such a cool interview. So much insight from literally, like we said at the beginning, talking to someone who's been playing disc golf longer than we've been alive, which is just absolutely crazy.
Amazing, man.
But cool to hear him. And like I said, the humility of going to play Masters and changing and just the entire different vibe. But I love that it's reinvigorated and made him enjoy disc golf again. And I think that's the takeaway there is like, whatever it is that you need to do to make you actually enjoy the sport again. I think we get caught up and go, oh, I'm got to win all these things. I got to hit this ratings thing. I got to get in the field. It's like, you got to realize like we're throwing Frisbees and this is something that we love to do. Like, don't miss that. I think that was my takeaway from talking with him.
Yes. It was also really neat that he's kind of in the age that he's a bridge between the old heads and the young guns.
Yep.
And it's pretty neat, man. It's like not a lot of people fit that mold right now. And I feel like we could learn a lot from the guys who've met those guys when they were charging on the Pro Tour. And now they're just kind of doing their thing, playing Masters golf, or maybe they don't even play golf anymore, but they give advice, or they've got so much knowledge that maybe we don't even know the history. Like especially these young kids who are just now getting involved and they're in maybe middle school, they're not going to know who all these old guys are. So I thought that was really neat. Honestly, makes me want to like find a book that's like the history of disc golf and just read it, all of it.
I'd read a book by Trevor. It'd be hilarious. That would be.
It would be really funny. Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
Just the
That'd be
personal stories alone.
Right. That'd be a cool video series though to have, get guys together like Shasta, like Trevor, like Matt Dollar, Joe Revere, Kale, like these guys. I mean, Dave Feldberg. I mean, these guys that have been around for so long, and names that like we know because we started playing in like the 2010s ish. That those guys were still relevant. Where like you said, guys that are even on the tour now, no idea. People who started playing disc golf in 2020, zero clue. They don't know who Dave Feldberg is. And Dave Feldberg is the guy who runs the American, amateur tour. Like
the national amateur.
He's a freaking world champion and used to beat Paul Macbeth all the time. Like people don't realize that. So it is cool to hear. And I think someone's got to do it. If you're listening and you want to get together all these Masters guys to just talk about the history of disc golf, that'd be a pretty sick roundtable discussion. I would watch the heck out of that. It'd be really neat. So definitely be on the lookout for, I don't know who's covering it. Someone's got to be covering Masters Worlds, PDGA, media, something. So hopefully we get some coverage of that. Pretty wild format. A Tuesday through Saturday, I guess. I don't even know. Playing 18 and then 9, a top 4
days. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah. Top 4 final day, like the old days. I love that they're doing that because that used to be the thing. I mean, used to have a final 9, so it's gonna be cool.
Yep. 9
Should be
holes
fun to watch. But on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, heading into we got the Turku Open. It's going to be the Disc Golf Pro Tour event in Turku, Finland, and some pretty solid players. James Proctor's jumping over there, Eric Oakley, some definitely people that are going to be watching. I don't know what coverage looks like for that. We are seeing. Oh, let me look it up here. Daily broadcast, so should be normal. The awesome. Timing. A little bit different. We got 3:40 a.m. for FPO Eastern time and 9:40 a.m. for US Eastern time. So
honestly, I'm gonna love that, being able to wake up and watch some men's rather than waiting until like 3 o'clock or
it'll be kind of nice
6 o'clock when they're on the Pacific coast.
Right. It'll be sweet. So, I mean, winners of this event in the past, Jesse Nieminen in 2023. I mean, then Seppo and Vino. That's it. And Evelina on the other side. Rachel Turton actually won this event last year.
Oh, wow.
So pretty cool to see her doing that. And she's had some success here on the American tour. So going to be cool to see her over in Turku. But definitely follow that June 14th through 16th. And then coming back to America, we got the Preserve Championship, one of my favorite events of the year.
Same.
Incredible course, and everything going on with Microsoft Teams and stuff. We'll be able to talk all about that. Hopefully they do some cool stuff, and what they're doing up there in Minnesota is just freaking awesome. So good stuff going on in the Pro Tour. I don't even know how to predict winners for Turku and for this stuff coming up, but looking forward to it. But yeah, that's all we got here at Parked Podcast. Thanks, Trevor, for joining us. Oregon, man, let's just do a tour in Oregon. Just hang out here for a while. I loved it. It was a blast. First time winners, back-to-back champions. What a time.
I think we're going to see more West Coast tour stops.
We need to.
Maybe even a West Coast Worlds coming up sometime soon.
I'm down. We got Champions Cup. We're in California next year. So definitely majors happening over there. And I know West Coast golf loves it and they need it, especially with all the backlash coming from the start of when they announced this tour. Is like, where's the West Coast? So feels like the West Coast swing is done already, which is kind of sad, but I enjoyed the heck out of it. But yeah, if you're listening over on YouTube, thanks for hanging out this long. We should have probably said this already. Whoops. But like and subscribe here on YouTube. And if you're over on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you listen to your podcast, be sure to leave us a review. Thanks for hanging with us halfway through the season pretty much, which is crazy. We're getting there. But a lot to come. Thanks for hanging with us here at Parks Podcast. And Zach, you want to sign us off the right way?
Peace, love, and disc golf, y'all.
Peace, love, and disc golf, y'all. Thanks for hanging. We'll see you next time.
Deuces.